Now, one of my favorite things that I've seen you direct was the Helen song.
Man, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about this, dog. Like, at that time, I was at my lowest, bro, mentally. At that time, that was the very same year I lost my grandma. Before my grandma passed away, they basically told me that they wanted me to produce a song. And I'm like, me produce a song? So I declined.
Right.
Because that's not really what I do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they got back to me and they say, you have to produce a song and do the music video. And I was like, nah. And when my grandma passed, I had to be in St. Lucia, and I just looked at it as an opportunity to distract myself. So then I went back and I took up the project. I had no idea what the music video would have looked like.
Right.
I just put all the energy into the music. So if you listen to the music, you hear the artist crying on the music.
Wow. Hello everybody, welcome to a special edition of the Game Changers Hub podcast on a scenic location with an amazing guest. We are on a catamaran. You've never seen a Game Changers episode on a catamaran. Just Bliss is the name of this beautiful vessel, and I'm so happy to be here. But I'm even happier to be here with a man who I admire, somebody who I look up to, somebody who I think will be amazing for a conversation. The man, Loggo Lionel. Bro, welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, bro.
Welcome to this episode.
Thank you.
Bro, let's start in the beginning. Very, very beginning of your story, because I think your story is something that, one, you need to share with the world, and secondly, I think it's a real game-changing story. So let's start in the beginning. How did you even get into this film industry? What's the story behind that?
How did I get into this film industry? So my journey goes all the way back into, let's start as at the age of 17, when I just left high school.
Okay.
I was looking for jobs, and I was trying to figure out what it is that I wanted to do, what it is that I wanted to become. At first, police officer was one of my top tier options.
Okay.
That didn't happen. Then maybe somewhere along the lines of IT or something to do with computers was the next option. That did not happen. I had a friend of mine who introduced me to a friend of theirs who owned, at the time, well, I don't know if it's still there, Reflections.
Okay.
It's a photo shop.
Yes.
So I used to work there. I worked for Reflections for 2 years. From there, I went to Sandals, did photography for Sandals for 3 years. And while I was in Sandals, that's when I kind of honed in on the skill of photography that then transitioned into videography. And when I left Sandals, I just really went out and just practiced, my videography skills. I met, a lovely gentleman by the name of Sean Fields, and he really kind of introduced me to the world of film and cinematography. And, he had me as co-director on one of his short films called Sukiya. And man, from then on, that's when things really changed for me. My eyes opened and things changed.
All right. So then, what was the transition like for you? Because, it's one thing to work for a company, and it's something completely different to own your own business, or to at least get into becoming a director and into this enterprise. So tell me a little bit about that transition. When did you know that this was a viable thing that could turn into a business for you?
In terms of the business, the business aspect came later.
Okay.
But in terms of that's what I wanted to do, it was just a feeling.
Okay.
It was one of those things where, I had sleepless nights just creatively. I just had that drive, you know what I mean? And man, funny enough, my very first music video was $100.
Wow.
And it's probably one of that artist's biggest music video.
Wow.
Today.
Still.
Right? And he's a popping artist.
Wow.
I didn't know the business behind it. I didn't know a lot of things behind, I guess, the videography business. But it was still something that kept me moving, something that kept me motivated. And yeah, man, the transition was was a feeling. It was just something that I enjoyed doing, and I saw it through.
So would you say that it was a push for you or pull? Because, you know, people, when they become successful, it's either something is pulling them, drawing them to something, or if something is pushing them to that thing. So maybe were you running away from something, or were you running to something?
I think I was running to something.
Okay.
I was running to, I always wanted to be successful in this field. Yeah?
Okay.
Like from the moment I picked up a camera, it's almost like the moment I touched the camera, I just started seeing visions of, okay, I could go there, I could do this, I could do that. And I dropped it and back to reality. So it was more of a drive to accomplishing, you know, things that I once envisioned.
Got you. All right. And then you said a little earlier on, and I think that's what people know you the most for, in St. Lucia at least, the music videos. How do you get into that field in particular?
I love music.
Okay.
I love music. I used to rap. I used to sing.
Oh wow. Loggo the rapper.
I used to be into music.
Okay.
We had a crew, you know, of a crew of us. You know, one was a producer, the other one was, you know, a songwriter, and I used to rap, and you know, just all of us was just into it. And one thing about me, I'm very shy.
Okay.
I'm a shy individual, so that level of confidence that you needed to have to sell your music, it was just pressure, bro. It was bare pressure, and I'm like, you know what? Let me see how I can make y'all look good. You know, let me film y'all. Let me take your photos. Let me do behind the scenes of y'all. Mind you, my rap game then was sick. Like I would listen to it today, and I'm like, oh, I was actually nice. I was good. But it's just a level of confidence that I really lacked.
Yes.
At that time, and I just picked a more of a comfort zone, which is behind the camera, behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So you're telling their story.
I'll tell their story, yes.
I like that a lot. And you know, we often see that for individuals, you know, you're still in the industry that you wanted to be in, but you come at it from a different angle. And sometimes people feel like success is going for what exactly you wanted in the first case. Yeah. But sometimes success can look like what you have.
It diverts. You know, I mean, I know people who picked up a camera and they're artists, they manage artists.
Wow, yes, you see?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know people who picked up a camera and that was a platform for them to bridge into, say, owning a business that they, say, did the digital marketing for.
Right.
And now they're the owner of this business, you know what I mean? So the camera was just a tool.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's still a business behind it, you know?
Got you. All right, so we're due for our first break, and we'll be back with Mr. Loggo Lionel after this.
Creating videos can be tough, but it doesn't have to be. Let me show you how Veed makes it easy in just 3 steps. Step 1. Upload your video to Veed's platform. It's as simple as drag and drop, no tech skills needed. Step 2. Edit your video with powerful tools. Add text, music, and effects to make it pop. Step 3. Export your masterpiece in seconds. Share it with the world and watch your creativity shine. Want to try it out? Use code VEED20 for a discount. Stop stressing and start creating with Veed today.
You spend months planning for the perfect event. You have great guests, you have great speakers, and the event is a success. But in 24 hours, it's gone. But what if it doesn't have to be? Introducing Event Voices by Game Changers. We shoot a live podcast episode at your event, turning your speakers into content. We blend our production quality with your event. Your speakers plus our production quality and distribution equals more leads for everybody. For more information on how you can transform your event into something game-changing, contact us via the information on the screen. We're back with Mr. Loggo Lionel. Now, Loggo, before the break, we really spoke about your beginnings, how you really got into stuff. But like I said, people genuinely know you as the visionary or the man who makes these artists pop in St. Lucia, particularly soca artists. And, you know, we're almost around the carnival period. How do you tell those stories? What is your storytelling process like?
I immerse myself.
Okay.
I be part of it. I become one with it. Whatever it is. If it's an artist, they have the music, the lyrical content. I just become what they sing. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm able to just tell the story. I have conversations. One thing I like to do is have intimate moments in discussing creative directions with whoever I'm working with.
Okay.
And I get an idea of who they are,
Mhm.
what is it that they would like to portray, and what impact they would like to have on whosoever is listening to the music or seeing the music videos while listening to the music. So that kind of create this whole vision board for myself. Then I put it onto paper and then I distribute it to them and then we create.
Got you. So they co-direct in that way, right?
Well,
Do they?
sure. I mean, sure. You know what's crazy though? A lot of times they don't even know
What they want?
what is it that they want until I could give them the start.
Okay.
And then they take it from there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sure, yeah, they co-direct. We could say that.
All right. Well, yeah, but I mean, it's understandable because they might have it in their head, but they might not know how to express it the way you can, right? So yeah, I see. Like you're really bringing that vision to life.
Yeah.
Now, one of my favorite things that I've seen you direct was the Helen song. I really loved that because I'm a Saint Lucian. It was a lot of national pride. What was that like? What was that experience like?
Man, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about this, dog. Like, so at that time, bro, I was at one of my I was at my lowest.
Really?
I was at my lowest, bro, mentally. I almost wanted to give up on videography and everything in that time of my life. I got first I just want to say thank you to the individuals who brought this project on my table. Thank you very much.
Beautiful, yeah. You want to shout them out by name if you want to, or there are two numbers to mention? Okay.
But I appreciate it though. At that time, that was the very same year I lost my grandma.
Wow. Yeah.
So before my grandma passed away, they basically told me that they wanted me to produce a song. That's how they started it.
Okay.
And I'm like, me produce
a song?
Okay. So I declined.
Right.
Because that's not really what I do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I love music.
Yeah.
I have a good ear.
Yeah.
But to actually produce a song, that's not for me. So I declined it. And then they got back to me and they say, you have to produce a song and do the music video.
Oof. Wow.
And I was like, nah, decline. So then at that time I was dealing with, my grandmom being sick.
Yeah.
I was also dealing with my, whatever it is that I was going through at the time that kind of made me lose motivation to continue on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
And when my grandmom passed, I had to be in St. Lucia and I just looked at it as an opportunity to distract myself.
Yes.
So then I went back and I took up the project.
Okay.
I took the project and I had plethora of team around me just to, let them know what vision it is that I wanted. And, we started with the music. I had no idea what the music video would look like.
Right.
I just put all the energy into the music. So if you listen to the music, you could hear the artist crying on the music. Though.
Wow.
You could hear from the notes Michael Robinson used. You could hear
it's a very emotional song.
The passion in it. You could also hear the passion in Rashad.
Yes.
The way he starts the tune.
Yeah.
The lyrical context is basically me as a little boy around my grandmom. You know what I mean?
Really?
And I just kind of changed it around. Okay, St. Lucia. So it's me grieving in this project. And when we were done doing that, I just went around actually on the journey of preparing for the funeral is when I was capturing, rough footage or maybe the artist performing or B-rolls of the landmark of the island and different, things that can be a national pride that I could drop into the music video, right?
Right.
And I was also given access by GIS to, go through the archive footage.
Right, yes.
So I could use that to, add more value to the music video.
Right.
So, man, it was a beautiful project just used to, for the lack of a better term, distract me from grieving.
Yes.
And I think I did justice and it was my ode to my grandmom.
Wow.
You know?
Beautiful.
It was my ode to my grandmom.
I think sometimes we as creatives draw from hard times. In fact, most creatives, they would tell you that some of the times that they're most creative is when they're going through something.
Bro, vulnerability is power. I don't care what nobody tell me that. Vulnerability is power. You know what I mean? You could be vulnerable to someone. They look at it as weakness.
Yes.
But the leverage that you get from being vulnerable and you being authentically vulnerable, because it's not a matter of being vulnerable and you're like, oh man, just so that someone have pity onto you.
Yes.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you being vulnerable, but you still stand in power.
Yes.
Bro, that itself, it moves mountains.
Yeah,
now.
for sure.
It moves
Because
mountains.
people are so fake, particularly in this IG era that, everybody wants to look perfect.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to look, like they're all well made together. But when you show that, I'm human, I bleed, I cry, I have those feelings as well. The art is what benefits, and people ultimately benefit from it because art is for people, bro.
And it's relatable.
Yes, it is very relatable.
It's relatable. Once you could inspire someone and you could let that person feel something that you, the creator, is doing, bro, you relate and you connect with them, and that's where the magic is. That's where the magic happens. And in creating in art, bro, there's a level of vulnerability that you have to have.
Right.
Regardless, you have to have it. If you just macho and you're taking photos, bro, you're going to miss out certain essence. You're going to miss certain details. Likewise for storytelling, filmmaking, you're going to miss it if you're just on a surface level.
Absolutely. Now, another video that because like I said, I've been following your work and I love your work.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
Another video that I like, I can't remember the name of the song. I think it was one of the Carnival songs. But there's a particular transition on top of the Bank of St. Lucia. That transition it always blows my mind. That's one of the cleanest transitions I have ever seen. So just in that storytelling aspect, how does one come up with the idea like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to have this transition here. It's going to help tell the story. How do you do that?
Ah, man, a lot of the things, a lot of the times it's pre-production.
Yeah.
And also a lot of the times it's
in the moment.
It's just in the moment. And it was I think that one was in the moment.
Okay.
Because I had the FPV pilot, drone pilot, to do all kinds of cool FPV shots.
Yes.
And I felt like, bro, I have to honor his work.
Right.
And one of the ways to honor his work was to
make
do
sure
that cool, clean transition, dog. Right. And when I saw it, I'm like, actually, when I saw the opportunity to do that transition, I was like, yo, I had to jump on it. But that one in particular wasn't something that I planned.
Right.
It was just something that once you've immersed yourself into the editing phase of things, you see things differently, and you just have to act on it.
Yeah, that was a really, really cool chat. Every time I see that video, in fact, I would like you ever listen to a song. There's a part of the song that you're just waiting for it to drop.
Yeah.
For me, the video that's how I feel about that video. I just wait for that because that was just beautiful in my opinion.
Thank you.
You. All right. So then, okay. So you have become, in a lot of ways, you've helped at least with the face of what St. Lucia's music scene looks like. In terms of marketing St. Lucia, brand St. Lucia to international market, how do you think we're doing, and what do you think we need to do better?
Bro, I think we're in a dope position right now. We're in a cool position right now. When I started doing this, they were barely videographers.
Right.
They were barely videographers. So the things that the videographers are doing now are things that I was fighting to do.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it's in essence, it's me kicking down the door for them to have fun. Come join the party. So where it's at right now, man, these new creators, they blow my mind off to see how they showcase St. Lucia.
Yeah.
How they pay attention to the quality and they upkeep the quality. And I truly believe we're in a safe space. I now need to see us in a more union phase.
Because we come together.
Yeah, and come together, understand, how we go about, how we interact with clients, how we interact with the industry itself, and keep that level of standard and build on it. You know what I mean? I always say to people, because I live in Toronto, it's almost like St. Lucia against the world.
Yeah.
Right? because I see how they do it over there.
Right.
You know, I'm heavily involved in it. And when I come home, it's like, yo, guys, this is what they're doing over there. It's us. You guys elevate yourself. Do your thing. Do this. Do that. Let's see how we could prepare ourselves for when these major productions come to Ireland. We're all ready, regardless of who the cinematography is. We already in the phase that we're at. You know. So, long story short, I think the opportunity is there, and we're in good hands.
Beautiful.
Thank you to all you cinematographers out there. We're in good hands.
Beautiful. So then tell me, do you see yourself in some ways as a forerunner, as somebody who helped start this wave?
I don't know.
You're not sure?
I don't know. I love what I do. I do what I do, and where it takes me, I'm grateful for it.
So at least, do you see yourself as an ambassador, though, since you live in Toronto?
I don't know.
You don't know either?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry,
Maybe?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't know is the honest answer. We spoke about being vulnerable early on.
I don't know.
And I don't know is probably the most vulnerable you can be, because sometimes people try to give, a fake answer, and you've given a real answer. You literally don't know.
If that label has been presented onto me, I'm fully grateful. But you know the phase. Heavy is the crown. Heavy is the head wears the crown,
yes.
Right? So I do know if that is my calling.
You don't want your head to be heavy.
No, really. It's just, I have to, make sure I exercise the neck a little more so I could.
I get it.
But nonetheless, I'm ready for whatever task that is thrown at me. If that is being presented to me, I'm fully grateful for it. But as of right now, I cannot say to you that I'm the ambassador, or I am this, or I am that. I'm just me.
Yes.
Doing what I love.
Beautiful.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
Interesting. All right, so we're off to another break, and we're back with Mr. Loggo Lionel. Hello, Game Changers. Over the years, you guys have consistently expressed how happy and how interested you are in the caliber of guests we feature on Game Changers. Well, now we're going to take it to the next level. These very same guests will now be instructors in an exclusive community, giving their insights and ideas to transform the game for your own business. We are launching 2 communities. The first of which is called Your Next Move. This is for entrepreneurs looking not just to make their enterprises profitable, but also to make it transformative. The second one is the Creatives Hub. This is for creatives looking to transform their art through the insights of practitioners who have been there before. This is not for everybody. It's only for those who are looking to transform their lives and truly elevate the game. So, if you're interested, follow Game Changers via the link to our Patreon today. We're back with Loggo Lionel, and we're back continuing this conversation. Now, Loggo, you mentioned that you currently reside in Canada, and you said you're not sure if you want to give yourself the label of ambassador, which is fine. But
correction. It's not that I don't want to give it. I just don't know.
No, if you are.
If I am.
Okay, fair.
And if I am, then I'll be more than willing to do the work.
Fine, I'll take that correction. No problem. All right, so then tell me then, what was it like transitioning into the Canadian market? First and foremost, you're a St. Lucian, and you have done business in St. Lucia. Now you're doing business in a major market, a big market like Canada. Tell me what that transition was like.
Imposter syndrome.
Wow.
Point blank period.
You didn't know if you were supposed to be there.
My bro, it was a heavy dose of imposter syndrome. There were times, and that was what earlier I said. I lost a lot of motivation, and it's almost like I felt that wasn't for me. Being in a market that is heavily saturated, 1, and 2, it being very, not just calculated, but everything has its space. Everything has its position. Everyone has their click or their fit in. And for me, it took me a while to get there. Thank God. I mean, we all had our moments during the pandemic.
Right.
Some people lost lives. Some people went through depression.
Yes.
Some people went through so many different phases. For me, I went through that as well. However, I would like to also say thank God for the pandemic in a way where it put me in a place where I could network freely. So a lot of the spaces, the circles, the entourage that I once looked at and I felt that imposter syndrome,
Yes.
I'm now a part of.
Yes, because
So-
we're going through something that everybody's going through. So I mean, almost like the pandemic gave you like a talking point to start the conversation. Like, bro, we're locked indoors. We have to talk to each other now.
Exactly that, dog. So, man, listen, I've been placed in groups upon groups upon groups, and in those groups are individuals you can literally Google with Wikipedias.
Yes.
Right?
Wow.
And people who have had huge catalogs when it comes to acting, directing,
Wow.
you know, whether they're maybe connected with someone in a Hollywood industry or so forth, you know what I mean? TV, film, media. And I'm just grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, before there was imposter syndrome, like you said, we had to connect. There was a connecting point. There was an icebreaker. We all connected through this, and then we grew. We sprouted.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm not sure if I answered the question though, but
no,
we'll get there.
We'll get around to it. So then, okay, so you're in the Canadian market and you felt this imposter syndrome to begin with. What is it like now? Do you still feel that imposter syndrome?
Slightly.
Okay.
But I feel like I walk with a little bit of confidence now, knowing who I know have my back.
Right.
And who I could call and say, yo, I need some advice. This is what I'm working on right now. This is what I'm doing right now. I would need some form of, guide me through it. A little bit of mentorship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if it's one thing, no matter whatever level you're at, don't be afraid to reach out for advice. Don't be afraid to have mentorship. That is very crucial. It's very important. And yeah, man.
So I'm hearing that your confidence comes in from your support system, your network.
The support system and knowing, yeah.
Beautiful. Now, many people might not believe that, and from our conversation, our interactions, I can tell that you're an introvert as well. How is it?
Introvert, extrovert.
A little bit of both at times, right? Around the right crowd, around the right crowd.
It depends. It depends on who I'm talking to. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me, do you think that led to some of the imposter syndrome for you?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. You know what? I kind of found myself, as much as I had the imposter syndrome in Canada, I felt like I found myself moving to Canada because I had that opportunity to redesign myself, for the lack of a better word or a better term. I had that opportunity, and however I felt like moving in terms of where I'm at, I just move freely. And I'm not afraid to say, yo, I'm just going to go to town by myself and go into a crowd by myself and go to a film festival by myself or go to a set list by myself. Or if I see they're filming a movie, walk in and talk to the director by myself. I'm not afraid to do that. I was never afraid to do that. Introvert, extrovert, yeah. But I felt like Canada kind of gave me the opportunity to find myself.
Got you. That makes a lot of sense, and I understand that.
Yeah, man.
Right? It was similar for me when I went to school in Trinidad. It was similar to me, right?
Oh, yeah, you went to school in Trinidad?
I did. I did.
Nice.
So when I was there, I found myself as well. I found my voice over there, even if I did have some of the skill sets already, but the opportunity, I really got the opportunity when I went over there. So
nice.
I get that.
Same for me, man. Like, I learned so much and I had to unlearn a lot from St. Lucia.
Yes.
To apply it into where it is that I want it to be.
Yeah. They say when in Rome, you have to do like the Romans.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Definitely.
All right. So off camera, you were telling me about some crazy project that you did in Newfoundland. I mean, I know you and crazy projects seem to go hand in hand. So, but tell me about this particular project, and you were telling me that you've never spoken about this on camera before.
Yeah, I've actually never spoken. So, okay. During the pandemic, back in 2021, I landed the opportunity to create this monster project, probably one of the biggest projects that I've ever done to date. And it is really an immersive, interactive video game.
Wow.
And my role in that project was two things. The first one was being able to communicate with the video game designer, how I would like for it to flow into the video that I'm directing and into that stimulation, right?
Okay.
So what that project is, it's really, you see how we have masqueraders, right? We have masqueraders, we have all those traditional masks, all that kind of thing. The white people have their own. It is called mummer.
Right.
And mummer comes from, that's M-U-M-M-E-R.
Okay.
It comes from Scotland, Ireland, somewhere in Europe.
Right.
And what it is really, you make yourself almost unidentical to people.
Okay.
You change the way you walk, the way you talk, and you're basically dripped in some form of fabric.
Okay.
It could be a bed sheet, whatever, but your hands, everything's supposed to be covered.
Okay.
And during Christmas, what they do like a house to house. And it's a big festival on the streets. House to house, they go knocking on doors. And if whoever you knocked on the door, I'm not sure who's looking at this podcast. If I made a bit of a mistake, correct me. But I had to learn it in order for me to do the project.
Obviously, yeah.
So what my mind retained was, when you knock on doors, if whosoever door that you knocked on noticed you, because remember you have to be identical, right? If they notice you, then I don't know if they give you a drink or if whosoever door you knocked on has to give you a drink, right? But then what I know is that if they figure out who you are, they then invite you in for a drink and all that kind of stuff. It might be
the other way around.
But it's
they'll correct us in the comments if anything.
It's one of them.
Yeah.
So that is the concept of mummer.
Okay.
So the video game basically was called The Mummer's Journey.
All right.
So what we did was we created this. Basically, it's a place called Woody Point. That's in Newfoundland.
Right.
We created a video game stimulation in Newfoundland, and you could literally roam the streets in the video game. And in every house, in every location, huts, house, shop, you could enter.
Okay.
And when you enter it, that's where I come in. I have this music video because, so what I didn't mention was it was in an advent calendar form. 21 days to Christmas.
Okay.
So 25 days to Christmas. So December 1st, the countdown starts. So once you start that journey, on the first day of Christmas, or the first day, which is December 1st, only one location is open.
Okay.
And when you enter that, it's them singing in the traditional Christmas carols, right? And then you could walk around until the second day. Okay. And on the second day, you could open the next. Okay. You know, just like the advent calendars, right? And it was, man, I think that project shaped me to where I'm at today. Right. Because I understand, when you're focused on your own culture, you're comfortable in your culture, but then you've been given the opportunity to learn someone else's culture. Yes. And you have to do right by that culture. That's what that was for me. And we did 24 music videos within the video game, and it was a months of a project. Wow. So is that game available for anybody, or it's not out yet? So it's been out. Okay. I'm not sure where it's at right now. Okay, all right. Because I'm not the what you call it, the keeper right of the final one. Okay. But I do know it's on YouTube. They did like a recording of the video, like someone played the video game. Gameplay, the gameplay basically. And it was recorded and it's on YouTube. So it's The Mummer's Journey, GSMN, that is Grossmont Summer Music. Okay. Mummer's Journey. And you can find it there. You can see the crazy stuff that we did. And it was just something, it was a game changer for me. Wow. Yeah. There you go. Game changer. All right. It was a game changing moment. All right. Man. Wow. So sorry. I'm sorry. And I've never been to Newfoundland. Okay. And that, it goes deeper. Because learning about that project, being in Newfoundland, being around, people that don't look like me, it strengthened and challenged me spiritually. So that's where I had like a different, again, mindset to where I'm at today.
Got you, got you. So again, new experiences. Yeah, I'm sure that's the first time you've ever worked on a video game. So I mean,
Mad thing.
that must had to be crazy. Had to be crazy. In your wildest dreams, would you have ever thought that that?
Never. Never, 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 never. And again, I am ever grateful for that. It was a 6-month project and a 6-month collective, like every single day counted.
Mhm.
So not like 6 months, we relax and we chill, and no, 6 months from Monday to Friday. We may have had Saturday, Sunday off. There are times we sleeping in. Man, there was a time I fell asleep in someone's home thinking that's the Airbnb I was supposed to be in.
Wow.
Dog. And I'm hearing footsteps, all kinds of stuff, bro. And people looking at me like,
what are you doing there?
What are you doing there?
Stranger in the people's house.
He's the only black guy. Trust me though, like when you work, sometimes your mind don't process certain things. So yeah, I fell asleep on the couch of a stranger's home.
Oh wow.
But thankfully, I was nicely welcomed and taken care of until they were telling me, yo, this is the house that you're supposed to be.
Crazy experience.
Yeah,
crazy.
I love it. I love every bit of it.
Bro, so people are looking at you and like I said earlier on, they're really inspired by you. I know I have been.
Thank you.
I know that one of the things that you constantly push is doing the best with what you have.
Oh yeah, man. Oh shit.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
In terms of equipment and everything.
You know what's crazy now? The technology that we have is very minimalistic.
Right.
But it's very powerful at the same time.
It is, yeah.
Especially if you're able to use your creative juices to doing it. So something simple as an iPhone.
Yes.
You could film a whole movie on that. And that's the challenge of using what you have to create something that you've envisioned. So in my day, back in my time, when I first started, damn, I sounded old. Yeah, back in my time, when I started doing this, access to cameras and bringing cameras on island, it was an arm and a leg. Probably still is. But it was me testing myself to use what it is that I have to ensure that I create a quality of work that I believe has not been seen on island. And the moment I was able to practice that muscle, I just went on, just use what you have. Use what you have, over-exhaust it. And once you feel like, you could do better and you need an equipment to take something that you want to do and you cannot do it with what you currently have, then go ahead and make the investment.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But until then, use what you have. You could use a phone and you could do corporate videos. I could guarantee you, and if you do it very well, whosoever is hiring you, they won't even know the difference.
Right.
But they might just see, is that what you're coming with when you have your phone and just the lighting setup and all that kind of stuff. But once you use it effectively, they can't tell you anything. My first set of music videos was shot on a Nikon, and at that time, Nikon was predominantly a photo camera.
Right.
They only added the video features just because.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They had no cinematography features in the Nikon camera. But the way I was able to manipulate those footage, it almost looked like industry standards.
Right.
I remember there was one time when I was in Canada, when I first moved to Canada, I had my reel portfolio showing to all types of people, just so I could get my foot in. And man, I remember they would commend me on the quality. But when they would ask me
what camera
I shot it at, the first thing they would say is not industry standard.
Yes.
And I'm like, how does that make sense? You commended me on my quality of work. You said this is what it is, XYZ. But then when I tell you what tool that I'm using, it's not industry standard.
They should be even more impressed now because you didn't have the tools, yeah?
So that's that. And I grew from there. I had to sell that camera because, I wanted to
be industry standard.
And I remember I got me a Sony.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, that Sony traveled. It traveled. I did so much with that Sony, from Shemi J music video with Imran Nudi bouncing. That's when we did that on the waterfront. To, say, Kes and Shensia.
Right.
That very same camera. Do you know what I mean? Just because of what that one person said to me.
To that point, you've worked with not just solution artists, so you're not just the visual artist really behind the solutions, but you've worked with artists across the Caribbean. So then, what was that like?
That's the world.
Well, yes. I don't want to limit you, but
Appreciate it.
we're just speaking about the Caribbean first. But what was it like? What is it like sharing the Caribbean's culture with the world, man?
Bro, again, it goes back to like really immersing yourself into the experience to be able to tell the story effectively. So every artist that I dealt with or worked with at the time, I needed to understand who they are, what is their brand, what is it that they represent, and I just had to mimic that accordingly. And listen, it was a beautiful opportunity. And the one thing that was on my mind was, well, two things that was on my mind was, oh shucks, I'm finally doing it. That was one.
Yeah.
The second one was, I have to represent.
I
have to represent.
Yeah.
So being from St. Lucia and doing things in Grenada, Guyana, Trinidad, and all over Jamaica for artists, like, I have to represent, bro. I have to. And I feel like once you have that mentality, you feel powerful, even though you don't know that they have your back.
Yeah.
But just the mindset of it felt good.
Good. Great to hear. Great to hear. And I'm happy that you represented. You continue to represent well. So I'm very, very proud of that, and proud to say that this guy who shot this video is Lucian, very Lucian. So it makes me feel very good. Bro, somebody is looking at you, Loggo Lionel, and is saying, I want to be just like Loggo. I like his vibe, I like his spirit, and I obviously like his work. What is one word of advice you'll have for a young person trying to make it in St. Lucia?
Keep going. Just keep going, no matter where you're at, no matter what phase you're in your life, just keep going. Sometimes they won't see it, but preparation makes success. So if you keep going, you build repetition. You build that repetition. So when you finally get that moment, it's like a walk in the park for you. You know what I mean? So keep going. No matter where you're at in life, just keep going. Keep going. If I could have cussed on this podcast, keep going.
Emphasize.
Keep going,
emphasize.
bro. Like, we move. Slow motion is better than no motion. Just keep going.
I like that one. That one, I'm probably going to steal that one. That slow motion is better than no motion. If you hear me say it on one of the podcasts, I have stolen it. I have definitely stolen it, and I don't mind. I am not making any apologies for stealing. I will steal that one. Slow motion is better than no motion. I love that. I really do. All right, bro. So we've come to the end of the interview, bro. I said it so many times in our conversation, but I want to thank you for being you first and foremost, because who you are helps us be who we are as a people. Because you, like I said, you've represented us in ways that, St. Lucia can be proud of you, as we are proud of the artists themselves, but we are also proud of you, your professionalism, your attention to detail, your never say die attitude, your continued success on a world stage. I want to thank you so much for this. Many people might not necessarily know the man behind the camera or the man behind the direction. I know you are, but I would encourage you to continue doing interviews like this, because it's important to hear these stories. It's important to understand, the struggles behind the scenes, because people see the success and assume that, you just got there and it was a smooth journey all the way, but it's not.
Journey, bro.
It's not, and it's still going on, yeah.
I feel like I'm in a phase right now where, and I said this last year, it's almost like I've now become a student, because I want to unlearn the things that I've learned along my journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm in this new phase of my life where I'm learning, I'm teaching, I'm applying, and I'm growing, So it's just this weird combination or weird phase that I'm in right now. And again, I'm just immensely grateful for it all.
Absolutely. Bro, thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for being
who
you are again.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, guys. So this has been yet another Game Changers Hub podcast. Remember to like and subscribe. Game Changers is available wherever you get your podcasts. If you listen on Spotify, thank you so much. Remember to download the episode and give us a little rating, so we can continue pushing out to the public and continue sharing those amazing Caribbean-based stories. Game Changers merch is also available on our website, so feel free to check it out. We have a lot there for you. And as always, stay hungry, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.